Hey guys, what's up? It's Neonta Williams with the Advocacy Chair on behalf of Black Alabamians for Education. As you can see, I have a wonderful, beautiful group of ladies here with us today who are alums of our Next Level Leaders program. And so we are so excited to have them join us today. And there are other guests that are coming as well who are alums who are joining us today so that we can kind of hear about, hey, what's been the impact? What are you doing now in the community? What are your current leadership roles? What were your former leadership roles? What are all the things, and how has the work of Next Level Leaders impacted them in their leadership role in the community and what they see themselves doing in the future? So I'm excited to lead this conversation, and I am going to say welcome.
Thank you.
I have got to get this artificial noise maker because in my head it's like, hey. It's a lot going on in my head. So listen, ladies, I would love for you all to introduce yourselves. Maybe you can tell us your name. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can tell us where you're from. And maybe you can tell us what cohort you were in.
Okay.
Because we on our third cohort, y'all. Don't play with us. Okay.
Love it. So my name is Ciandra James. I am from Gadsden, Alabama. I am the executive director and president of Saving Our Sons, the Jaden D. James Foundation for Gun Violence Prevention, and also a bakery owner.
Yes. Ooh, it looks so good on social media. I got to get the gas.
Loaded pancakes. Yes. I am Dr. Tiffany Sales, and I am also from Gadsden, Alabama. I serve in many roles, but currently I am a school psychologist through Gadsden City School System and an emerging author. So yes.
Awesome. Love it.
Emerging. It's already real. I know.
So my name is Shatay Martin. I am originally from Troy, Alabama. I still currently live in Gadsden, Alabama. I am a lot of things, but an educator first and definitely an advocate. So.
Love it. So ladies, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Some returning, Shatay to the Advocacy Chair. Love it too, ladies. This is your first time, so I really appreciate you all taking the time to be with us today. I think what we have to say, and what you have to say is really important to current leaders, emerging leaders, because this thing about leadership is not easy at all. It is not easy at all. And so I can tell from your nonverbal and verbal responses like, we're about to get into this. So my initial question, and anybody can answer this. So what initially drew you to the Next Level Leaders experience? Like what made you say, oh, I'm going to apply for this?
Ooh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think for me was attending my first symposium in Gadsden when you came home to Gadsden. And I was able to witness Shatay and Tamika, graduate that program. But actually, I'm a person I like to ask questions for myself. And so I, called Tamika. I'm like, what was your experience in this? And she had nothing but amazing things to say. And she was like, if you're ready for that next level and to tap into, leadership and education and storytelling, I think this might be the platform for you. And I'm just like, okay, let's do it. And I was sold. So that kind of, for me, was the reason that I
like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I agree. I think same thing, really, oddly enough. It was at symposium. I had a nudge from a community member.
Symposium. Yes. I was just saying. So see what happens at symposium.
Make sure y'all sign up.
That's right. August 8th.
So I kind of had a nudge from someone that I work with to go to the symposium, but it was in one of the breakout sessions. We were kind of having a real candid, open conversation about some of the things that we wanted to see happen in education. And the leader of that breakout session was LaShondra Richmond. And she was like, we're launching something today. I think you need to pay very close attention to it because everything that you're showing that you're passionate about, we are kind of launching something with Black Alabamians. And it has been history ever since then.
Yeah. All right, Tiffany, since you didn't answer, do you want to answer that one? Because I got more.
You could just continue. I could answer, but
she's so laid back. Well, I tell you. So let me ask you this. Clearly, you went through Tamika. Excuse me. Tiffany. Sorry, it's a lot of T's. Tiffany, doctor. Let me get that right. Dr. Sales. That'll help me a whole lot better, right? So clearly, you went through the cohort. This question I have is: was there a specific moment during the program that challenged your thinking or shifted your perspective?
Oh, consistently. That was constantly. Okay. Yes.
Say
Each
more.
time we met, because LaShondra's who she is. And we always, and just being around the table with different professionals, Black professionals, that was beautiful. But just always challenged. We always had a kind of like a mission for each session. And in that mission, everything we say, she would challenge us. Or she would give like a more, okay, let's go deeper. Oh, that's surface, let's go deeper. And then going into purpose. So I was challenged throughout and really hadn't had experience like that, especially outside of an educational setting ever. And it was amazing just to have that. Yeah, just having those thought-provoking, let's dive deep. No, that's not sufficient. Come on, you got more, tell me more. And how does that connect with your purpose? So, yeah, I truly enjoyed that experience.
Yeah. That is so why do you think that is an important part of a leadership development or being a leader, not just so much being in a cohort like Next Level Leaders, but why do you think, because you all are leaders, right? So why do you think that's important to be probed and pushed and made uncomfortable with certain situations and thinking outside the box? Why is that important?
You can't conquer and comfort. So you need people who will.
Say that again.
You can't conquer and comfort.
My God.
So you need to be around people who may help you to be uncomfortable and embrace that uncomfortability and that challenge you. I feel like any leader has to have iron sharpeners. And that's what Next Level Leaders was for me. We sharpen one another. And that's, to me, that is vital if you want to grow. Because you can't grow in comfort.
Yeah.
That's good,
That's
Doctor.
good. Shitay, I hear you. I see you shaking your head. What you got?
No, I completely agree. And I think true leadership is kind of this mission of that lifetime learning, right? And we have to continuously place ourselves in settings because we evolve. And you have to make sure that your circle and your accountability partners are evolving with you too. And I agree with that. I think some of the biggest detrimental things to leaders is comfortability. Like, I want to be comfortable. I want to be complacent. And oftentimes that's just not what you're afforded in leadership. Comfortability is just not on the checklist.
No. That's good too. It is not.
No, it's not on the checklist at all. And you got to have those people around you. And that's what Next Level Leaders has been for us is, all right, I see you slacking, or, okay, I know you really love what you're doing now, but what's next? You know, what does God say your next is? How are we going to get to your next?
Yeah. See, Andrew.
For me, you know, to piggyback on what both of these ladies said, it was that. And LaShondra, I love my sis. She is one of those that is, she's going to push you. And it was exactly that. We were actually in the middle of a session, and I was kind of quiet this day, going through some things. And she was like, okay, we're going to address the elephant in the room. I'm giving you an exercise to do. And I kind of was just quiet when, and she was like, what's wrong? And of course, being transparent, it was, right after the passing of my son. It was just like I had so many emotions going on. And she was just like, you know what? What's your next? I mean, what do we got? She said, what are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, we in it, you're gonna sit in it, your son's death was not in vain, what you gonna do with it? What's your purpose? Tell your story. And I'm like, I don't have a story to tell. She said, the devil is a lie, you got a story. And I'm just like, she pushed and invoked that like pain to purpose and elevated me to tell my story. Now I can keep my mouth closed. Yeah. And so for
That's
me,
good. I actually can tell it too. Like,
for me,
not literally, but literally.
For me, that was the push that I needed. And somebody advocating and rallying for me and just saying, no, you're not going to be quiet. You're not going to be still. God has put you in this place. You got, what it is that he needs in you. Give it back to his people. What are you going to do? And so it was kind of that thing. At first, I didn't receive it. I was like, baby, if I would have been close and not on this Zoom, I probably would have wanted to punch her in the face. But baby, when I tell you, that was what I needed to hear. I needed that fire lit. I needed that second wind.
Yeah.
And, Next Level Leaders gave that to me. Yeah. And so just
I love that.
That in a nutshell is what, pushed me into advocacy more so than what I thought I was already doing. But no, it catapulted me into a different spectrum.
Yeah.
To the next level.
To the next level. To the next level.
Yeah,
And it did.
y'all ladies, you really have me over here like, thank you, Lord. Because, and I know you all know this story. Maybe the listener audience doesn't. But, birthing Next Level Leaders was out of my personal frustration of being a public servant and sitting at a table where you have 8 other people who are sitting beside you coming from advocacy space. It's like, hey, when we come in the room, everybody's at the table for the same thing, only to find out when you get there are people who sit alongside you or who are absolutely not. And maybe they are, but they have a different way of approaching that. So leadership has layers and levels that really, identify a lot of difficulties that exist in calling ourselves leaders, because everybody at the table is not a part of, they don't see what you see, they don't see how you see it. And the other thing that they're lacking is courage. Like they lack the courage. And so this is really, me saying this is gonna have me ask you all this question rather, what, since your participation in Next Level Leaders, your completion of Next Level Leaders, think about yourself prior to and who you are today, literally today, and where you see yourself going. Like, what have you said or done that was outspoken or courageous that you really didn't have the courage to say or do prior to your participation in Next Level Leaders?
I think similar to Ciandra, I've always been one who will speak. I don't mind speaking, but I think it's the advocacy or telling my story on many platforms. And so that's advocacy for me, because me sharing my story is helping someone understanding it's bigger than me. My story isn't just for me. And that's whether in the educational realm, for mothers, for women, for children. So I've been more bold with my voice because you are an example. And so I know Next Level Leaders is not you, but it is a vision birthed by you. Absolutely. And to see someone who's from Gaston, not even a mother, but to have the heart that you have to speak, whatever, and to provide this space, then what spaces am I to invite people to? Yeah. So I've been more vocal because I'm just like low-key chill. My girl Tamika is the one that's like the megaphone, and I'm more like, but I'm grateful that it's pushed me.
Yeah, absolutely. Because LaShondra is my megaphone. She's the same, like, we have one of our team members, Ashley, always talks about the ability to be around each other and put batteries in each other's back. Like, if you don't have someone that is a part of who you are to put a battery in your back, to say, girl, you or man, you should go do this. Like, you should go and you do it foolishly, but you do it knowing that you got to energize the bunny behind you, saying keep going, and beating that drum. So it matters. Shatay, I saw you like nodding your head when, I'm looking dead at you when I asked the question about, what have you done courageously that you probably wouldn't have done prior to being in a space around other people who say it's okay to be you.
Right. I think even if I could shift it a little bit, not even what I've done, but who I've become. I think
that's good.
I've always been very big and bold. Like, I was that kid, big, bold, bubbly, right? Take up space. But I think when I ventured into the education sector, I learned to adjust and maybe not take up as much space, right? So I think what I have learned is to be bold and to know that every room that you're in, you're called to that room, right? And to kind of rip off this notion that titles mean leadership. Because when you come into spaces sometimes and you may not have a similar title, especially if we talk about like in an ed space, or maybe even years of experience, right? You can sit down, I sit down next to people that have been in for 35 years, longer than I've been alive some, right? But then sometimes you have to know that you're placed in the room to bring certain things to the room, and that leadership does not mean title, right? And we give honor where honor is due. We respect those that have titles, but also know that everybody that carries certain titles, they don't carry this boldness or these qualities that we are putting in the Next Level Leader Fellowship. And so you have to be willing to speak up and say, well, maybe this, have y'all considered trying this? Whereas before, you kind of yield a little bit, not to shrink, but because, well, certainly they got it. They have the title, or they've been here for 35 years. But I think Next Level Leaders means that sometimes things don't change until you get in the room. And if you shrink when you get in the room, then change doesn't happen. Or if you stay quiet, assuming that they have it, because if they had it, it wouldn't have been this way for this long, right?
That's it.
So I think knowing what you bring, knowing who you are as a leader, because all of us have different leadership styles and we're called to different pieces of advocacy, right? So like if Ciandra doesn't keep the children alive, I can't educate them.
That's right.
Right? If I don't have a Tiffany to come and pour into them and build up their confidence after school and give them a we say, they may not even take the step to be who they are. So just that piece of being able to go into rooms and assess why I'm in the room and what mission do I need to accomplish while I'm here, no matter who else is in the room.
Yeah, no, that is so good, Shatay, because that is really like Dr. Fuller, founder of BAYO, Black Alliance for Educational Options nationally. Like, one of the things that he used to say to us all the time in our trainings is, don't just be happy
That's the way
That's
that's
good.
good. That's
Y'all hear what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Just to be in the room, like it's bigger than just being in the room. Like what you gonna do once you get to the table and you just happy? You're just gonna let them walk over us. You're just gonna let them talk over us. You're just gonna let them make decisions about us, and we're, and so, and they don't know us, like whoever they is, right? Because it's not a matter of skin folk. It's just a matter of like,
Absolutely.
do you really understand? And so, our experiences, our pains that God is allowing us to turn into purpose.
Yes.
It all matters when we walk in the room. And so again, to me, all of that is just kind of like defined under courage, like given the opportunity to get in a room, but then what do? I don't want to just be happy because you invited me, because I'm unhappy because a lot of times I may be the only person representing us at the table. So then what do? And there's a lot of pressures with that.
Yes,
it can be a lot of stress with that, knowing that here I am being chosen to go into a room or create a table. Like who's going to come to the table? And is it going to be the right people? Are they coming for the right reason? Are they coming for the snacks, or are they coming because there is something that we have to give and to do and to build with each other on behalf of other people?
Yes.
So our personal traumas and pains and experiences, or even our highs, are not just about us. To your point, Dr. Sales, I am talking to God all the time, like, Lord, how and why me? Like I don't have not one single soul child that has come out of me. But it's like the assignment that's been placed on my life. And it is just not about Neonta at all today, but just get ready to go down that road of just like understanding and discovering our why. Like, why are you here? And I believe probably each of your cohorts started out with like, why? Like, why are you here? Why did you come? And so, it's like, we know the reasons why, like, I was introducing all the things, but then when I walk away, it's like, man, this is so much bigger than this. Like, since your completion, you birthed a nonprofit, right?
Yes.
And a business that was already in the making. And, think about the lives of people that you're touching. Since your completion, I think you being an author was kind of already in the makes, but it's out there. You are a nationally known, internationally known author. Anytime you got access to social, it's internationally known author that people are accessing. You move from a classroom to a whole nother leadership position where there are other people who are now seeking your brilliance and intellect. And I'm not saying this is a result of Next Level Leaders. I'm just saying this is what Next Level Leaders can do, and being a part of. It's like being in a room. Being in a room and being in a space, because somebody said it earlier, iron sharpens iron. Yes. So I want to talk about quickly, what does leadership in practice look like? And I kind of asked that question before, or kind of got into that category before, but how do you balance what you see, your vision, the pressure, and the responsibility as a leader? Because that's an important part.
That's good. That's good. And that's a many feathered bird kind of. For me, I have had to learn not to panic, but to pivot. And so instead of panicking, I pivot. Going back to, the previous question of, being at the table, there sometimes was not a table. And there were spaces that I had to create for myself. And then I had to tap into getting back to understanding who I was and understanding, why not me? That was my why. Why not you? Why not me? And so that kind of pushed me to change my thought process on how I moved and how, what platforms. I'm strategic about everything I do. And if I show up, it's for a reason, to be seen and to be heard. And so for me, leadership means it's beyond myself. It is about a movement. It is about a culture. It is about a society. It is about a community. And absolutely right, it is bigger than ourselves. Yeah. And so for me, I look at it wholeheartedly as this is my assignment. This is what God has entrusted me with. And honey, I let everybody else down but him. And that's just my take on it. I'm like, everybody else just, hey, step back and let's move forward. I like that. And so that's it. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And that is my thing. So for me, that is what leadership looks like.
I like that.
For
Dr.
me,
Sales.
the balance comes on my knees because what I recognize is the further up, the higher the elevation, man, is balancing joy and pain. Because the more visible you are, the more comes with that.
Yes.
And then knowing how to steward that influence, that's a big thing for me. Because yes, this has been entrusted to me. A lot of this I didn't ask for, but help me steward it well. Because these are lives.
Yeah.
These are, my voice is it is a microphone. People are listening. Lives can be changed. Let me steward that well, even on the rough days. So yeah, on my knees and in humility that I didn't ask for this, but you entrust me with this. Let me rock it out.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's good. Shatay.
I think to align, I love the strategicness that Ciandra pointed out, but I also like these are lives. I think both of those create a balance for me. Being strategic, knowing that every season the mission is different. And so I think when you carry different leadership titles in different spaces, we want to do all the things, right? But in this time frame, I've noticed that just learning to be strategic, right? What needs to be done in this time, but also stopping and taking away, especially me, coming from the ed space, I'm an educator at all times, but stepping away from the data, this data represents people, right? No matter what are we looking at, the political times are changing, the education climate is turning in Alabama, but at the end of the day, we are in this for the souls, for the people, for these babies, and so I think that balances it for me, because when you bring it back home, you find this place of peace. Like, you know what, that's what we're doing this for. All the other things, like you said, just staying strategic, remembering the souls. That's a good balance in place for me.
Yeah.
Always return back to the roots, like the why. Why am I doing this? What is this for?
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get cloudy.
Yeah. That is so good. You were gonna
Can I
ask
say
something.
on the record, y'all know this? I think you should tell us more about that in your book, the layers and levels of leadership.
Oh, that's
'Cause
good.
I got that. The layers and levels of
Accountability
leadership
partner.
by
That's called
Neonta
you higher.
Williams.
I love
Oh my
that.
God, that's
Coming
ooh,
soon.
My God.
She calls you real high.
That's real high. You know what? It's in there.
I love that. I receive
It's
that.
in there. It's definitely in there. Oh, because I really want to say, as we prepare to break, because this is so good. Like, we gotta take a break. Like, I feel like it's a halo hanging over us. This is good. But I think also too, if I were to answer a part of that question, it would be the filtering. Like, always assessing myself is a part of how I try to maintain that balance, because also in leadership, you can, to your point, Dr. Sales, you can get to one place, but then it's like, I didn't ask for this. And then I'm also encountering different individuals, because again, we're dealing with people. Data is people. It's individuals. It's not just, let me just put this out here because this is what I think and feel. But it's all encompassing, dealing with individuals, and leadership is challenging. Y'all, listen.
Absolutely.
I know y'all tapped in. I know you tapped in. So I am so thrilled for us to be here on this, what I want to call a special edition of the Advocacy Chair. I'm sitting here with Ciandra, that I'm going to call Dr. Ciandra. Dr. Sales, who's truly Dr. Sales. We're not trying to take your honors. And Dr. Shatay, this has been awesome. We're going to take a quick break. We're coming back, and we got some more guests to join us who are alums of our Next Level Leaders. So we'll be right back. I love it. All right, y'all, we are back. Listen, I'm Neonta, and these are new faces for the Advocacy Chair, and we have been talking to our Next Level Leader cohort members. So, ladies, please introduce yourselves.
I'm Aisha Carroll from Birmingham, Alabama.
I'm Tamika Stevens. Some people call me Big Glow because I glow up the room.
Big Glow, okay.
Big Glow.
I didn't know
but
that.
I am from Gaston. I am an educator. I'm a nationally board certified teacher, and I recently got accepted into a program titled Cultivating Elementary Mathematics Specialists, and only 18 teachers in the state was chosen. So of course they chose your girl Big Glow.
I love it. Absolutely love this. All right, Asia, you're the quiet one, right? But I'm going to get you to talk today. Got to get you to talk because you have so much to say to people. You have such an incredible story. You're an amazing person. You are an educator in the charter school here in Birmingham, because we're filming in Birmingham today, but this show going on the road. Y'all can tell how sometimes my ADHD kick in. I be all over the place. But back to Asia. So excited. And so Asia, tell us or tell me or tell the listener audience what initially drew you to Next Level Leaders.
When you came for a PD, that was it was either 2023 or 2024. Richmond brought you in for a PD, and it was a PD that I actually listened to because, teachers just be doing whatever. And one of my teacher besties knew what my passion was, and she was like, "You're not going to let this lady walk out this room and you don't get her information." So chase you down. Hey.
Sure did. I remember that. I remember
I get
that.
your information.
Yep.
And then I started going to the events. I went to PALS, Symposium. I did a panel one day that Richmond invited me to, and
Yep.
yeah, that was.
It was the
2
first
years ago.
cohort. Yeah, it was actually the very first cohort of Next Level Leaders. Yep. That is so true. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
All right.
Full circle moment.
Yes, it really is. It's like,
is.
Lord Jesus.
Shout out to Richmond. 'Cause you all throughout the interview. Shout out to
Look
Rich
at you
too.
naming.
'Cause,
Yeah, name all through this. So for me, we went to the first symposium, and my best friend, Dr. Sells, was like, "Hey, did you hear about the program they're starting?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I heard about it, but I don't know about all that." Then Shatay was like, "Hey, let's do this," and I kept putting it off, and they both kept encouraging me. But sometimes, although I am one of the loudest ones in the room, sometimes I don't always feel like I'm enough. I don't always feel like I can do that, or I'm at that place in my life. But I did have these two ladies to keep encouraging me, and it was down to the last day to submit, and she was calling me like, "Hey, what is going on? Where's your stuff? Let's go." And I was like, "You're right, let me get it." And I did it, and I submitted.
Now, see, I got to lean back and cross my little legs. I hope my ankles not ashy. And for those that's listening on the podcast, Spotify, you won't even see my ankles, but you can imagine my ankles might be ashy.
They're not.
But you just said something in your, like, what led you to Next Level Leaders was you said, sometimes I feel like I'm not enough. Oh, Lord Jesus. So, and I'm Lord Jesus in because that comes with leadership. Like, a lot of people think that leaders, like, we automatically we have it. And it exists, and, like, we always are courageous, because I use courage in the first segment, that we always feel comfortable, that we always have the confidence, that we always have all the things. But the reality is, it's not always like that. So since you said that, and I want you ladies to kind of talk about, like, what does it take to break that barrier of I'm not enough, but I'm gonna show up anyway? Like, how do you, what happens in between I'm not enough, but I'm going to show up anyway? Like, what does that in the middle look like to get us to I'm showing up anyway?
That's good. Yeah. I think for me, and I don't want to keep taking us to church, y'all, but I think that it's knowing that I was never enough anyway. And I just trust that if you've called me to this, it really took me having to just have some real moments with God, like, no, you are not how you see yourself, right? There's so much more that I have for you. And so I just really had to become comfortable with always feeling like, "Ooh, this is too much," or "Are you sure you can do this?" And doing it anyway. So something I tell my son all the time is do it scared. Now, because nobody taught me that when I was little, right? Because we often feel that if we feel a negative emotion, that means don't do it, but not always. And sometimes what you need is right on the other side of that negative feeling, that insecurity or that fear, or sometimes even anger or whatever it is. And we've taught ourselves to stop then. I feel a negative emotion. This must not. I train myself now, push through it. And on the other side, even when you're uncertain if you're enough or if I can do it. And I just know, like, if he brought me to it, certainly you can do it.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds cheesy, but I don't know if that underlying feeling ever goes away. You just learn to do it scared.
Yeah.
Do it.
Faith over
Yeah.
fear.
And every single time I come out on top. So, and then that just adds to the reservoir for next time.
Yeah.
So then next time I do it scared again, and I'm like, well, he didn't fail you yet, so we're just gonna keep going. I'm just crazy enough to do it.
Yeah.
So to piggyback off of what Shatay was saying, I kind of have to teach myself, look at the end outcome. So if you think about an elephant and a lion, when an elephant sees a lion, he thinks run. When a lion sees an elephant, he thinks lunch. So although the elephant is much bigger and much stronger, he's still afraid of this lion. And this lion is like, that's my lunch. So I have to be the lion, no matter how big it is, no matter how much I think that it's going to be too much for me. What is the end outcome? What outcome am I going to get from me and my sons? And so, yeah, I got to see lunch.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Asia, what you got?
So for
How
me,
do you do it?
It's so crazy because I had another educator say to me, "You care too much," and this is what like last year I think it was. I was like, "Okay, I'm the type you tell me I can't, or I'm too much. I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you." So I'm like, I'm gonna care even more because if I don't care, then who will? Like again, I don't have children, but my babies are like my children. So
Yeah.
watch me keep caring.
Yes, you don't have children. Yes.
Who knows?
Yeah, yeah,
Pray
yeah.
on it. I'll be 35.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. I think there are so many other things that happens in between the I'm not enough, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I think that for me, what God does for me is he gives me God winks. And I'm sure he does the same thing for you all. So my God wink is just like out of nowhere, some random person or random phone call or random text message or random social media, something like, man, thank you. Somebody saying thank you, or somebody saying this really helped me, or I really appreciate you. And it's unexpected, not like you're doing an act and you expect someone to say thank you in that moment, or people are saying thank you in that moment. But it's those times where you get these confirmations from God through people that you are doing the right thing, because leadership is heavy. My pastor, shout out to Bishop Joseph Warren Walker III, presiding bishop of Full Gospel International and pastor of Mount Zion Baptist Church Nashville, will say that he has actually written a book that's entitled Leadership and Loneliness, because this road is lonely. So he talks about being in this fishbowl, right? Being in a fishbowl where everybody is looking at you, and it's like, what can you do except perform? What can a fish do except perform when it's in the fishbowl? But it has a job to do, a responsibility, something that is supposed to be getting accomplished. And so it can be very difficult. So when you know your why, which we talked about earlier with the first set of ladies, when you understand your purpose, which we talked about, and even now having this conversation, it really, really matters when it comes to leadership. So, you know, and I just want to say to you all, like, I'm so grateful again for you saying yes to Next Level Leaders, because it's not just about K-12 education, but it's really about putting us in a room of other powerful people that we can encourage one another. And the Black Alabamians mission, equip, inform, and empower, so that we have the courage that we need to go out and do what is required of us at the next level, because there are levels to what we do. And so where we are today is not where we're going to be tomorrow. There's elevation that is in place, that is going to take place. So I want to ask you ladies, what has been one of the hardest leadership lessons that you've learned?
Ooh, wow. All leaders aren't leaders.
Say that again?
All leaders aren't leaders.
All leaders aren't leaders.
Like you said earlier, it can be a title for some people, but just because they have a title doesn't mean that they are leading in purpose or with empathy, passion, all of the things. And you have to like take a close lens and look at it and say, okay, is this a God purpose or a human purpose with some people? Yeah. Leader, yeah. You may be called a leader.
That
but
is so
doesn't
true.
mean you
All
are
leaders
leading
are
in the
not
way that
leaders.
you, yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
For me, it would be everybody's not ready to be led.
Yeah.
So
That's a good one.
it can be hard when you have been put in a position to be the leader, and you have to work with people who aren't ready to be led, or better yet, or worse, they're not ready to be led by you. They're not ready to be led by me, who I represent, what I look like. How dare I come in and I now have to lead them? And so that's tough, because you know the expertise that you can bring and how you can help, but everybody's not ready to be led.
I'm not laughing at you.
I think too, to add on to both of those things, also, it's tough to know that you can't turn leadership off.
That is so
it is
true.
tough.
Oh my God.
And so even in some of my darkest moments or burned out moments, or it seems like that's when the call gets louder.
Yes.
And there are more things. And I would love to have the luxury to just say, I'm not going to. But when you have the true spirit of leadership, not just a title, right? It doesn't matter what my title is. You know that there is an urgency. And so you're not afforded the opportunity to turn the call on and off because you don't know what's tied to what your action is. So when I complete my action, you don't know what I'm holding up when you don't do what you're supposed to do in time. So I think it's just tough knowing that you can't turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Like it's a commitment and it's an all-time commitment.
Oh, that's an internal thing though, Shatay, like saying that you can't turn it on and off, but I think it goes back to, and I don't remember if I asked this question in the last segment or even in this part of our discussion. I think it was the last, but just like going back to that balance, because you also have to protect yourself. Like we have to find a way. We have to find a way to turn it off. Like, I mean, and that's so true that you make the statement that, you can't turn it on and off, but the marks of a good leader is also our ability to turn it on and off.
Recharging.
Because because there are just some things that you can't connect your purpose to. There are just some assignments that, you are meant to approach them and to go through them, but it doesn't mean they get all that you have. It doesn't mean that they get all of your brilliance. It doesn't mean that they get all of what you have to give. Sometimes your presence alone is supposed to be enough. We have to understand that some relationships and some of our leadership roles are transactional and some are transformational. But as a leader, I would challenge us and challenge myself that when I get into primarily transactional roles, then I need to separate myself. Because leaders are meant to be transformational. We are meant to not only us become transformational, but position other people to be transformational as well. So in other words, where is our fruit? It shouldn't just always be an exchange of goods. I can purchase the services that you have, but then where is my fruit? And so that is, but there are times where you're supposed to lean in, and then there are times where we're supposed to just pull back and let it be, because it's like parenting, which we've never done, right? But you ladies have, letting a child just get their head up against the wall. You keep saying, hey, be careful, don't do that, don't. And then it's like they don't get it. The stove is hot.
For me to do.
Now let me find out for myself. It's like, okay, you can find out for yourself. And the other thing too about being a leader is we're planting seeds everywhere. We're planting seeds everywhere. One, just like the word, one man plants, another man waters, and God is going to give the increase. And oftentimes when that evolution or revelation of whatever it is that we were trying to help a person see, we may not even be around when they actually recognize it, but we played a role in it. So that's another thing about leadership. Like also recognize that we don't always get to see the fruits of our labor, but we have to produce fruit. We have to. And you'll know that some years down the road, because whatever the thing is still living. Or again, those God winks, when that person come back and say, you know what?
Right.
I remember, like, I appreciate you. That seemed like that triggered something in you, Tamika.
Yeah.
What you about to say?
Well, because sometimes I have that tough student, and then I'll get an email the next year or maybe a few years later, and they'll say, I remember when we did this in your class. I remember this, or you did this for me, or because you did this, I'm doing this now. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. So ladies, I want to, before we bring the other ladies back and we just kind of continue to have this conversation before we close out, I want to ask you, we are in a very interesting political climate. And our work is never necessarily about politics. However, as our parent organization, there are 7 core values, and you ladies know them well, but one of them is social justice. And we are, if I must say, we are in an era of where social justice is incredibly important, and for us being active and engaged and involved and informed, because all of the rights that our ancestors have fought for, not all, but those that are very, very important to our liberties and freedoms that we have, are at stake. So I want to ask you, what in a season like this, what does a leader look like?
That's good.
Wow. For me, a leader in this climate, they need to remember that leadership comes with service. And we're here to serve the people, not necessarily serve ourselves, but serve the greater good. And for us in this realm, it's our students, it's the educate, it's empowering the parents and advocating for better education. So to me, it's all about service.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you.
That's good.
Also having humility too, to, like I said, remove yourself from certain situations or what's going on and look to the future, because that's what we're here to, for us as educators, our babies are the future. So definitely having a lot of humility as well.
Absolutely.
I think too, being okay with not being moved because things are so rocky right now. There are some things that I think that we're not going to be able to move on. And I think in times like now, people can be very convincing, swaying, well, if you do this, we'll do this. Or can you do this? But I think we got to know the issues that we're not moving on and stand on those.
Absolutely.
Some things are negotiable. That's like my dating life. I have my negotiables and my non-negotiables, right? But there are some things that are non-negotiable and we will not be moved. Like, we got to tap into somebody, like we will not be moved. And I think being willing and able to stand flat foot in those choices. No matter what adversity comes, this is the pillar, like those 7 core values, like you talk about, are things like we got to find those things just as a community and say, hey, we're not going to be moved.
My mama used to say, I said what I meant and I meant what I said.
And no matter how many things you change, how many things you pass or move around or whatever, if we've got to reroute and do it in a different way, that's fine, but we won't be moved. I think that's going to be very important for the leaders in this time.
That's good. Y'all heard her. We won't be moved. I like that. That's a good hashtag. That's something great to stand on. So, guys, I'm Neonta with the Advocacy Chair, and of course, I'm here with these amazing ladies who have been sharing about their experience, the hardships, the hardships, and the leadership opportunities that they've had as a result of participating in Next Level Leaders. And so, we're going to take one more break, and we'll be back with everybody. Hold on, we'll be back. All right, guys, we're back. Yep, it's a different frame. You see us, all of the ladies here. Yep, I hear you talking like, oh, they cute. Yep, yep, they are, they are. So, ladies, listen, I really want to thank you for your participation today in the Advocacy Chair. And I have one final question that I would like each of you all to answer. And so, we're going to start with Ciandra, and I'm going to call you by name. Ciandra, what advice would you give emerging leaders who are preparing for their next level?
Ooh, that's a great question. My advice would be to show up authentically, unapologetically yourself. In all things, be true to thine self. Sometimes people show up as what other people want them to be. And for me, it is finding your voice, finding what platform to speak to, and then just, take what God has already birthed and placed within you and just trust that he would not lead you anywhere that he has not called you. And so for me, that is the advice that I would give. So going back to what Shatay said, do it fearful, do it scared, do it, just not even knowing, what the next is going to be. And so just be daring, be bold. And that's my best advice to give.
I like that. Dr. Sales, same question.
Mentorship is key. Anyone who is leading, you need to be led. So having someone that can speak into you, talk with you, your cheat code. That's what mentors are. Have a cheat code. Because some people have went before you who've got the lessons that you don't have to learn the hard way. So putting yourself in position to be taught, to be mentored.
That's real good. Asia.
Same thing. Keep pushing and find your village. Leadership is lonely, but you can't do it alone. I think
That's good. Ooh, I love it. It's a village. I love it.
Dr. Shatay.
I would definitely agree with the ladies, but can I add alignment in the sense of Dr. Sales is saying with mentorship, but aligning with your accountability partners. Like the leadership, I agree, is lonely, but you need somebody, but also people that can kind of hold you accountable on your journey. And don't forget to invest in yourself.
That's good. And last but not least, Tamika.
So
what's that name?
Big Glow.
Big Glow.
Big Glow. So I would say fly high no matter what. So I want to just leave you with the analogy of when a crow is going to continue to peck on an eagle's head, but the eagle continues to fly high because only an eagle can survive at that altitude. And the crow is so busy trying to distract the eagle, they don't even realize their downfall and they can no longer breathe and they just happen to fall off. But the eagle keeps going. So, and also, what is a fly to an elephant? So you're going to have those naysayers. You're going to have the negative. You're going to have the things that's going to come in and try to stop you. But I would say continue to fly high anyway.
Ooh, that's so good. Coming up some old analogies that I have about some things. I like that. That's real good, real good. And I would even another analogy that I would add is that sometimes we question whether or not we are qualified.
Oh yes,
we have the ability to be in a room, because we talked about that earlier, or if we're going to be valued. But I heard somebody say, and maybe I read it somewhere, but have you ever spent the night with a mosquito? If you think that you don't have the ability to be impactful, spend one night with one mosquito, and see how you wake up. Full of bites, full of like what in the world, itching everywhere. Your entire body feels like you're itching from one small mosquito. So we all are impactful. Ladies, I want to say that today's conversation really reminds us that leadership is not simple. It's not about a position. It is about growth, service, courage, and willingness to continue to evolve while helping others rise along the way. Thank you to each of you ladies for your honesty, your insight, and your leadership. I am so grateful for your participation in our Next Level Leaders program. I'm also grateful for your participation today in the Advocacy Chair. And so, listen, this is Neonta with Black Alabamians for Education via our Advocacy Chair. We are signing out, and I want to say cheers to the chair.